gonna go by that clock and say 10 o'clock. Did I say something to offend you? Oh, notes.
I have to get my notes.
All right, so, second thing on the agenda is programming update.
Morning, everybody. I hope you had an awesome summer. I know everybody really enjoys their hiatus from the board from June to August. Number of programming updates. A lot of our favorites are still staying. All the fitness classes are doing really well. We did just trim 2 classes. They've been sort of underperforming. I think they're just at a bad time in the afternoon. It's going to be the sort of unique yoga class that we offer on Thursday afternoons, and the core and balance class. They were both, for the first 8-9 months of the year, they were between 2 and 5 people, and it's kind of a little bit of a weak showing. So gone for now, but hopefully filled with something else that might be a little bit more attractive to people. It's, we just haven't gotten the response we wanted, but it's far from a major issue on our end. Some programs we do have coming up. We did just host our Healthy Eating on a Budget program that was partnered with Old Colony Elder Services. I had about 20 residents sign up for that. We hosted a tech one-on-one program that we partnered with the library on. We had about 10 people that came for a hour-long workshop, and then we did 15-minute appointments on a one-on-one basis with custom questions. Went really well. We're looking to offer another one later this month, early October. We have a few other programs that we're partnering with Old Colony Elder Services on. They've been really interested in getting in here and helping some of the seniors with programs that we wouldn't be able to regularly find a facilitator for to run in-house. So on the 6th of November, we have a memory training. We have an ageism program on December 3rd. And then we are inviting in the district attorney for a scam training. Those are always really well attended, and it's an ever-evolving topic that we just want to make sure our seniors are up to date on, so nobody falls prey to predators
That's really important.
in our area.
Yeah.
Some family programs that we are running in-house. We are hosting our family fishing clinic again. That is actually today, and the program actually just filled, but we'll likely offer it again in the spring. It's run in conjunction with the Department of Conservation and Recreation. All items are provided. It's just $5. Fishing is a great lifelong activity. We've had a number of people bring their grandkids. It's been a whole family affair, so excited to see how that goes today.
Where is it held?
New Pond.
Where?
New Pond. Similarly, in October, we're going to be running a family stock market and financial literacy program. We are doing, there's an online platform that I identified, and typically they only work with schools, but I posed an idea to them of partnering with a municipality for a community program. Financial literacy at a young age is a really important topic, and the way it's designed, parents, grandparents can give some perspective on investing at a young age. So hopefully it sets kids up for the rest of their life. We do have a volunteer from the Securities and Exchange Commission, the federal department that manages all trading and investing, and they are willing to do a workshop on the front end, since it's sort of a digital program that people would just log in, manage their fake account, and invest their money with their parents, and hopefully learn something along the way. So excited about that program. It'll be the first time we run it. That is also only $5 and sort of low involvement effort. And then we'll be bringing back our fall family pumpkin decorating program. No carving needed. We're going to partner with Langwater Farms. They're going to give us sort of a bulk discount on some sugar pumpkins. That'll be on the 20th in this building, run by some of our summer camp counselors. Again, family, inviting kids in here to decorate pumpkins that hopefully you'll decorate and put on your front porch and fun stuff like that. So a lot of intergenerational offerings coming this fall. Great time to get out in town. And that's what I have for programming updates.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Seeing none? Board structure.
Matt, would you like to take this one?
Well, I wanted to step down as chairperson, and I had mentioned that previously, and we didn't vote on it in the June meeting because we didn't have everybody here. Again, we don't have everybody here. I think we get one extra person this time around. So it's open if somebody would love to be chairperson. Please?
I'll volunteer for a year.
Good.
All
Okay,
right.
so we have self-nomination from Jim.
We have,
Are you gonna
But I'm gonna be picking your
oh,
brain.
I'm still gonna be here, I'm just not, I've got things coming up that I have to
Okay.
concentrate on. I stepped down as chairperson of the Agricultural Commission too, so I'm still on the board, but not chairperson.
You've done an awesome job in your,
Yes.
I expect your brain to be picked a lot.
That's okay, there's not much to,
I-
Combined.
I'm up early and make my phone calls like 4 in the morning.
no, that's fine, you can call whatever time you want. My phone is
May not
recharging
answer,
in the
but-
kitchen, I'm in the bedroom, my phone is
Whether
not
he
in.
answers it or not.
That's a different question. Yeah, that's a
Okay,
different
so we
answer.
have a volunteer,
I second that.
we have a second.
Aye.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Carried unanimously. Now we need a vice chair?
Not
Chairman of
required,
vice
but I
or
know
whatever.
I'm
Donna's
fine with that.
filled
Okay.
that role diligently last year. Would you like to return, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll continue.
You don't wanna move up one?
I'm sorry?
You didn't wanna move up one?
No. I don't know parliamentary procedures, I don't. I've learned a lot from Matt, but I'm not that familiar with it.
Really? So we have a volunteer for vice chair. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Excellent.
Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
You get to take over at the next meeting. Okay, so we're on to other. Approval of June minutes. Sounds like a person's name. I printed it out if anybody needs to. Well,
Is
you
that
you
in
have it,
here?
it's already attached to yours, oh. I went out and bought a printer for nothing? Looks the same.
These are the minutes? No, where? I see, okay.
Yep. All right, so, do I hear a motion for approval? Jean, and a second?
I second.
Okay, we're covered there. All in favor of accepting, or is there any discussion first?
Aye.
No discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed. Staff notes.
Staff notes. I don't know that I have anything meaningful quite yet. I might have some updates in October.
Okay. Member notes.
Okay, I've got something.
Okay.
I got a robocall the other day about parking. Did y'all get that too?
Yes.
Yeah. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know why, it just did. But yesterday I was here dropping off a walker that I had borrowed, and there was no place to park, and this was like in the middle of the afternoon. And yet there were 2 cars parked across where the buses park, like not parked in, but parked
Were they
across.
back into it?
Yeah, is parking, like, I haven't been around because I had my knee done. Has there been a lot of parking issues still?
A lot of people come to some of the classes, right?
Yeah, it's
No parking places.
somewhat the same. We ran into quite a few issues when they were redoing the road from, what was that, maybe July to mid-August,
Yeah.
late August. They did pave the slant, which was kind of nice. Still a fairly steep incline,
Yeah.
but I'd say it's probably still par for the course.
Is it possible to, in front of the building, paint off a live parking only spot? So when people want to drop something off, they can just, do you know what I mean?
Drop off, pick up.
Yeah, well, I
Drop it
wound
off.
up parking in front of the bench for a couple of minutes while I brought the thing in and then left, but I don't know, it seems like nothing really happened about that issue, right?
They're working on it, aren't they?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really my. I can pass it up and out of like our office, but it sounds like a lot is hinging more on. I know we talked about this at a meeting or two ago. The facility study that we have capital funding for next year, or probably next year, to see what we're gonna, if this building meets our long-term needs before they invest. I think I mentioned the last quote was like close to $500,000 to just do parking.
I know, I sound like a broken record, I realize that. It's just that if you want elders to come, you gotta make it a little,
User-friendly.
yeah. I don't know, it just,
We used to be able to park across the street, but now they
Right.
got all those apartments in there now, so there's
Right.
no,
right, and
they
it's not
won't
like
let
there's.
us park over there.
Exactly, and it's not like there's a whole lot of street parking available either.
No.
So,
No,
I don't
there's-
know, it's just, I think it's frustrating.
I have something that I'd like to,
Do we own back here?
Sorry.
Do we own back here?
Yeah, like with bocce court and the.
Is there a way to drive up there and put parking back there so there's more parking?
Rocks. There's a lot of rocks.
No
isn't
idea.
there, isn't
Oh,
there?
Rocks aren't gonna hurt you unless you hit them head on. Drive around.
Well, nowadays,
No, there's no way,
I don't think so. I mean, you do have people that go out there, I mean, there is the bocce court, they got the flowers out there, they want people to,
Do people do that, though? Are
Get
there
out
people
there
that go
and-
out there?
Yeah, when the weather's nice, there's
Yeah.
a handful of people. The garden club uses the outdoor space for meetings, and we do move fitness classes out there when the weather is sort of like in this Goldilocks way.
Yeah.
I was just
They-
thinking that, because if we're limited with space and stuff,
Mhm.
The initial
something's not being used a lot, you use it for something else.
The initial conversation that we had was wondering if we could go a little bit further down from where we are, and then we could alleviate staff parking to a further lot. But again, they want to see what this study comes back and says before we start investing significant capital that might be better suited somewhere else.
The wheels of government move very slowly, very slowly. And I have one other thing. A friend of mine comes to the Mahjong on Tuesdays, and she said, people really love it. She said, why don't you charge admission, or at least, $1 or $2?
they can't do that.
Why?
I think that some of the state laws or something about collecting money, is it?
No, has your friend been a part of the group for a long time?
I would say a couple of years, not, years on years and years, but at least last winter and this past winter. A year ago and this past winter.
That's not a bad idea. I don't know how receptive as a group they would be. But even if it was on a punch card basis, that might not be a bad idea.
Mhm. So just
could
throwing
you,
it out there.
could you collect like $2 a person? I don't know how they do mahjong, but
I don't either.
$2 a person and 50% of the collection goes to the winner.
Oh, you can't
Oh,
do
I don't
that.
think
No,
Yeah.
they
Can't
tried
do
that with, what is it, poker?
Po-
It's
Poker and bingo,
they-
I think we offered a few years prior to my arrival, and it was
No, they wouldn't
Okay,
let them
well,
do
I
it.
That's-
just,
that
No,
ended
that's a really
poorly.
Yeah.
good idea, actually. Sweeten
It
the
does
pot.
sound like a
Yeah.
good idea, but that gets into like gambling laws and stuff.
Well,
like
that's
that.
it.
Well, how does bingo do it? when all these churches have bingos.
But
The
that's not the
charitable
town.
organizations.
But that's not the
perhaps.
town.
They have to buy a license for that, supposedly.
Maybe.
Check into it, Joe.
I want to run bingo at the pool.
Well, yeah.
The pool is different.
Sorry?
The pool is different collecting money for that, so they say.
All right, I got something. They had a luncheon up at the housing, and I sat down with the resident member of the housing authority. And I had mentioned to him previously at another time, earlier in the year, and I think I had mentioned to you, Joe, that I would like to schedule a meeting with like the housing authority, a joint meeting, just, they've got space up there. If we need space to run programs, they got some space up there. I think there is also some overlapping type situations with blood pressure screening and all of that stuff. They do it there, I think you do it here. You know, if you can kind of combine and get the two of them together, there's I don't know, however many residents up there, 140 something, I think it is. Majority are elderly. And, you know, they don't participate in a lot of stuff. I'm not sure how some of the programs are here. You don't get as many seniors as there are in town. I'm not sure how many people you pull from Elise Circle and Parker Terrace, but I'm just thinking if we can get the two of us together and discuss different ideas and, you know, move things along, it might benefit all of us.
I believe I met with their executive director in March or April. They have a standing, I don't know if it's a contract, maybe it's a memorandum of agreement with Old Colony Elder Services to do their programming for them. They weren't against coming here for programs.
Yeah, but I think you said Old Colony Elder Services are gonna come here and offer some stuff.
They are, yeah.
So,
certainly.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's a win-win.
I'm happy to reach out to them and see if they'd like to come to one of our meetings.
Yeah.
I do know in that meeting they had mentioned that a few do come here, residents that
Yeah.
is. There is some hesitancy because of some of the fees that are with like the punch cards and stuff. But maybe that's a good venue to have a conversation of what
Yeah.
might work. So I'll reach out to their director and see if they might be interested. Are you referring to staff or residents coming to the
Well,
meeting?
residents. I mean, we've got, well, you get, you know, you get programs you might wanna run. Can you run them over there also? You know, with Old Colony Elder Services.
On some of the things you mentioned with the screenings, the health screenings.
Yeah.
Are they charged here for the health screenings?
No, they're free
So
to
they're
the
not
fire
charged
department.
there for the health
No.
screenings either. So I don't see where there would be a big conflict trying to combine the two of them.
Yeah.
I mean, for programs where we're charging money could be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But for the things that are free and having an extra space for the things that are offered free, that might be a perfect solution for some of the space problems here.
Is transportation from there to here a problem for the residents there?
Not really. I think they actually ride for free on the town buses. Or like $1 per ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, and they can schedule, I mean, if you know that there's gonna be a program up here, you can say, well, we're gonna have a bus down there to pick up people
Right.
at a certain time to come here.
And if the program's there,
Yeah.
people are driving here anyway, they
Yeah.
can just drive there. I think it's a win-win.
I'll have to see what we do in terms of transportation, if there's like a loop system
Yeah,
that might exist. I know, you all probably are aware too, that we do appointment-based busing, so if somebody wanted to come for a yoga class, they could say, just
Yeah.
pick me up prior to the yoga class and drop me off. And that does happen. I'm not sure to what extent or how frequently. But I will
I
definitely.
wonder if it would, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
I wonder if it would increase if the residents knew, okay, there's a bus to yoga every Tuesday or every
Sure.
Monday or whatever. And if it was really publicized or,
Mm.
you know,
And I have to admit that parking here isn't the best. There's not a whole lot of parking down there
No,
either.
there isn't.
I mean,
Just in the back of the building.
yeah, it took me
Yeah.
9 months to get a parking spot in front of my building.
It could also help to increase enrollment in some of your classes. If people knew
Yeah.
that there was a scheduled bus,
mm-hmm.
like Chris was saying, I think it might help to draw in more people.
Yeah, I think that might be easier than putting it on the resident to, you call and schedule the bus ride. You know?
Right.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I will see if there is a loop that exists or if that might be feasible. We do send a number of additions to the coordinator over there as a part of our mailings
Yeah.
and for pickup. It seems like from a programming and a space consideration, my impression was they kind of want to work autonomously in that way.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily want to push too firmly on it, but it might be a not right now versus like a no, a firm no, if you know what I mean. But I will reach out and see if they
Okay,
want
yeah.
to
No,
attend
I
meetings
just-
for sure.
It just kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I see both sides of it. There isn't a lot of activity down at Parker Terrace. I know that the OCES put on a luncheon
Yeah.
for Labor Day, a cookout. I think 20 residents came to it. And, I mean, you got 140 people that live there, or more, and you only had 20 people show up.
Wow.
People don't, for whatever reason, a lot of them, they just stay to themselves. I have 1 or 2 people, they don't participate in anything that
They used to have a craft room down there. No longer a craft room.
no,
I think
that's
it's
now
an
where
office or
that's where
something.
OCES is.
Oh, okay.
And,
So they only have that one big room.
yeah,
So
That's
if they had
interesting.
classes, it would be, all depends what type of class.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you have
well,
to
look.
have something that you gotta concentrate with, and then you have another group.
yeah.
that
Well, no, I
won't
mean,
work
I'm
out.
not saying that you have 2 or 3 things going on there at one time. You can't have a meeting here and classes over there.
No.
Which brings me, how come there are no classes going on? It seemed quiet today when I pulled into the parking lot. I expected to see the parking lot full.
The instructor for our 2 morning classes on Thursday, she's out with a hip injury.
Oh.
So she'll be back in December, but we're working on, she provided us with a short-term sub. So we're hoping that they'll be able to fill in for most of October and November.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that I didn't.
Yeah, those 2 classes have been pretty popular. They've had a little over 10 people every time, and it seemed to gain traction. And then
Yeah,
now she's out, out for a little while.
Ouch.
Fresh start in 2025, right?
yeah.
Ooh, 2025.
And
I would like to add something for the newsletter,
Sure.
if possible. COVID's back, and it would be nice to remind folks to get an updated vaccine because their old vaccines, our old vaccines, immunity wanes, and it doesn't really address the new strains. So COVID, the flu vaccine, and they're recommending the RMV vaccine for seniors for respiratory.
Okay.
And also maybe, you provide COVID test boxes here?
Yeah, I think tomorrow or Monday we're gonna have another 104 delivered. They come in cases of like
Might
12.
want to add that in your, that they're available.
I think you can send for them with that website through the post office and have them sent to your house. I think that's in action again because
See, I wanted to
COVID's
know about that.
COVID's
I always
big.
got mine at CVS. Post office does it?
Well, there's a form that you fill out. You go to the post office website and there's a form you fill out and then they mail them to you without any charge.
That's good
And
to
I
know.
don't know if it's 2 at a time or 4 at a time. But
Excellent.
That's
Yeah,
it, that's
we didn't
it.
get them in time for the September newsletter, but that'll go in October for sure.
Okay.
Unless they're all gone, but
have the Lions approached you about their senior cookout.
No,
No.
I have not.
I went to it last year. I think Gene went to it last year too. That chicken was so dry.
It was bad.
Oh dear.
It was bad.
It was a small, really overcooked chicken breast. It took 2 bottles of water to be able to eat it. It was dry. So,
Barbecue? Barbecue chicken?
No, it wasn't barbecued,
No.
unfortunately. It came from, I'm not gonna mention the restaurant's name so I don't get sued. But, I know they complained that it was, the guy showed up too early with the food. But number one, if you're gonna serve chicken like that, put it in some sort of sauce to keep it moist.
Plus it was cold.
Well, that too. Well, he got here an hour early, so I mean, but if, just, I don't know if they're gonna do it again this year. I know the person who has been in charge the last few years isn't doing well. So,
It's usually end of the month or in October, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten.
And I don't think they haven't, they may have had their first meeting last night, so, because they shut down for the summer. So,
Keep an eye out for it. Usually they do send a fairly prompt
Yeah.
facility request form for us.
but I've noticed that it's starting to, the amount of people showing up for it is dwindling. I don't know if it's from age or food.
Could be age.
Yeah,
Could be that old people don't like dried chicken, too.
it could
I was
be
gonna say,
too.
that really makes me not wanna go.
My husband wouldn't go. They tried to get him to do some cooking in here when they were gonna have their kitchen. He was gonna volunteer.
Well, they used to
They don't
have.
have a kitchen there
Yeah,
anymore.
I mean, when I had been involved previously, we used to grill the chicken out back. And we offered, I made a huge salad that I'd bring, that we'd make here. And, there were baked beans, there were rolls, and,
It's a good meal.
yeah. And unfortunately, with the kitchen gone, you really can't do
No.
anything anymore. You
No.
can't. I know one year, the guy came down to cook the beans, and it's like, what did they do with the oven? Luckily, he had a big, like a crock pot,
Yeah.
the huge thing that he,
That was a
Cook the
nice, that
beans.
was a nice little kitchen they had
Yeah.
out there. They just took
So-
it apart for storage.
hmm,
And they
So
were
I
gonna
would
build,
need a
and
new
they were gonna
building.
put an addition to it to
We do
make it
need a new
bigger,
building.
but
yeah.
never went
So
through.
what's the situation with the Y, with senior center moving to Center Street? That was the Y?
I know there's a number of ideas and conversations going on about it. I think the Y was rumored,
They
or
were
may
going
have
to,
been
but
outwardly interested. I don't know if they are
They
still.
aren't gonna do it. So
They're not?
basically, no, the building is just sitting there vacant, and
They did post a request for bids or proposals to purchase. I think that went out maybe a month ago. So they're receiving, I think it's supposed to be obviously following town meeting guidelines of the plot minus Yardley rink and whatever other space was
Yeah.
carved out. And I think the goal is to keep it somewhat entertainment, tourism, recreation, athletic based in nature. I think that's the preference.
But we need more apartments.
That's
The thing
going in
that
a
I
golf
think is
course.
upsetting is the
Golf course
Yeah, the
on.
Golf course?
Yeah.
On Purchase
Like
Street.
900 new apartments on everything Easton? That's not for the golf course.
Golf course I thought was gonna be elderly housing, I thought.
Yeah, I think
over
I read that
55.
too.
Over
Is it?
55, yeah.
that's not elderly housing, that's
No.
a whole different thing.
Yes,
Well, like the-
55 and older, oh yeah.
That thing on Foundry
Retirees.
Street is over
Yeah,
55.
All
you
together.
get $600,000 to
$800,000
buy
for
a small
two-bedroom.
house and no land.
It's a sad situation, I tell you.
They're doing that in Pembroke also with the Pembroke Country Club, but I believe they're keeping 9 holes, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's only a 9-hole course up there.
This,
on Pine Oaks. Is it
No,
Pine
it's not,
Oaks?
no, it's the country club.
Country
Yeah, the
club.
country
East-
club.
Easton
Country
Country
Club.
Club?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
And the one in
Nice
Pembroke, I
location.
believe, is going to 9 holes in building housing.
There's a lot of
And
land
so they'll still
there.
have, the housing will be
On a
on the golf course. I don't know if
beautiful
that's the
land.
plan up here. I'm not familiar with, what is it, the Morse brothers or the Cook brothers or?
Toll houses,
Toll-
or Toll Brothers
Toll
are buying
Brothers.
it, from what I read.
So I haven't seen what their plans,
I don't know.
and it hasn't been approved yet.
That's up by the church, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past the church, yes.
Yeah.
You remember there's
Purchase.
Yeah,
a,
but it's not around the corner. What's that one around the corner? Oak
It's
something?
Pine Oaks.
Pine
Pine Oaks,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the one I was
It's
thinking
the one
it
that's
was.
behind the church and
that's what
before
I
the
thought
church.
too, but you remember that area. You're a long-term resident of Easton. Used to be a big turkey farm, or a chicken farm.
Chicken farm,
Chicken farm.
yeah.
That's where they came up with, the guy who owned it was big in, the incubators.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of history for you.
Which one was the chicken farm? Pine Oaks?
Yeah. No, whichever one it is, it's on Purchase Street.
They're both
There's
on
two
Purchase
of them on Purchase.
You-
No, the other one's on
Oh,
Prospect
yes.
Street. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you're playing one, you can see the people playing the
Well,
other
that
course
doesn't
in the
mean
woods.
anything.
and- Yeah, it's two different roads.
All right, so,
You
From what I
should
read,
come up
though-
with an Easton trivia game, like, you know everything.
just,
You were at Southeastern, weren't you?
originally was Furnace Village.
Oh, okay,
Then we moved up.
okay.
You know, Northeastern was where the elite lived. The second-class citizens lived in Southeastern.
Southeastern was nothing,
And then-
farmers.
And then there was Furnace Village. We had nothing. We didn't get town water until the 60s.
You were from the Furnace area?
Yep,
It was the Boondocks.
here we were.
It's nice out there now.
Well, we moved out of there when I was 11 years old. 50 years later, I moved back.
That was when there was about 4,000 or 5,000 people in
Yeah,
town.
From some of those groups on Facebook, like the Easton Moms and the Everything Easton, whatever, there were some people that were talking about hoping that the town would take over the country club and the golf course and run it. Wouldn't that be recreation department?
I'd love to. I'd love to, if there's serious interest.
I don't know. Well, they were suggesting that, but then, it was the poo-poo, nah, the town wouldn't want to do it. But
I'd
I
love
think
to.
that would
I
be a
don't know if
wonderful,
We have the capital to compete with Toll Brothers as a publicly traded real estate development company. I'd have no problem personally managing it.
You'd be able to golf
See-
free.
CPA funds, it's recreation.
that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Submit a request.
I'm council on aging.
You're all conspiring here.
All right, so if there's
Would
no
be very
other,
nice.
no other member notes, looks like the next meeting is scheduled for 10/3, back to the first Thursday of the month.
Huh? No. Oh, I was thinking third, it's the first, you're right. I was thinking way back on the third of the month, for years,
Good.
years.
The brain is still working. And
So 10-3 then?
10/3, that's what the note says down here at the bottom,
Okay.
under other.
All right.
And we'll let this guy get home, go for a cup of coffee, tell him the meeting went till 11.
He's got that on the
I
tape.
I'm only in trouble if he does it. So,
He's gonna delete it.
if there's nothing else.
Motion to adjourn?
I second.
Did I do that
second-
right?
Yeah, you did. You did. And Jim will be your leader next week,
There we
next
go.
month.
I don't know if it's leader, but
So, Jim, what I'll do is.
Can you read?
yes.
All right, you'll get the leader.
Each month, Matt and I exchange emails, and I'll send sort of like, we obviously have standing agenda items, programming updates, things like that. If there's anything else that I think is coming from my end that I think the board would need to know about, I'll send it to you and say, does this work for you for an agenda? Do you want to push any items to another month? And then if you come, or if board members come to you with any agenda items, just let me know, and I submit it to the clerk's office about 2 weeks, a week in advance. They have time to publish it.
Okay, very good.
Excellent.
We vote to adjourn.
That was unanimous?
We already, oh, no, we didn't. We got the first and the second. We need a
Okay.
vote. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
10:35
Great.
and 45 seconds.
Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all again.
Yeah.